Hi, it's Mrs. Gearing, and I am here to do your language lesson for the week. We are doing lesson 10.04. So, before we get going, you will need to make sure you have your green ELA workbook and a pencil, and open your buzz to lesson 10.04. All right, see you in a second. Now, as we get started, let's think about what we're going to be learning about. We are going to be learning about vowels with the letter R, which some of you might know that as the bossy R when a vowel is with an R. Let's see, we're going to look at similarities and differences between two texts on the same topic. We're going to identify the author's reasons to support a point. And we're going to learn about synonyms and antonyms of verbs and adjectives. We're also going to work on our informative writing and research topics and find information in a book. Okay, let's get started. In today's lesson, we are visiting South America. So the first thing we see when we get off the plane is an armadillo. It pushes us towards the exit. The armadillo wants us to start our adventure right away. The armadillo is in charge. So if you look at the word armadillo, it starts with AR. So let's see.
The armadillo is in charge.
Okay, and that's that AR vowel combination we are going to work on. So what do you hear when we say armadillo? What's AR say? R.
The letters AR say R, like an armadillo. AR says R.
Okay. So let's look at some other AR sounds. AR is for armadillo. Ooh, we have a shark. Do you see the AR? R, shark. Ooh, garden. R, card. You see that AR? Car also has AR. Scarf. You hear that R, almost like a pirate. Harp. R. Good. So on our slide 3, there's an activity that I would love for you to pause the video and go try, because it's a lot more fun if you try it yourself than watching me do it on the video. But it's a little game where you're going to read the words out loud, then pick the flowers that have words with the AR sounds. Let me show you. So here's all these words, and you're picking the ones that have R, like far. See, I got that one right. Okay, pause the video, go try it. Okay, I hope you practiced your AR words on that game, and now we have made it to a garden in South America, so we can learn more about different plants like we have been in our last lessons. So I brought a poster about the white Jakarta flower. Let's check it out here. And this little girl says, I brought a book about the white Jakarta flower. So Cameron and Yin both brought a type of informative text to learn about the white Jakarta flower. What kind of text features do you think books and posters have? How could these different types of text be similar? How could they be different? So let's look at this compare and contrast graphic organizer to see the similarities and differences between the book and the poster. And there's the picture of the white Jakarta flower. Or I'm probably saying that wrong. Jacaranda flower. I don't know exactly. I could be saying that completely wrong. I should look that up. Okay, let's look at this together. Okay, so on this side over here in yellow, we have Cameron's poster. And then on this side is Yin's book. In the middle is things that they share in common, the similarities. So they're about the same topic, which was that jacaranda flower. And they are both informative. They're giving facts about a topic. They have headings, captions, and photographs in both the poster and the book. Now, the difference is Yin's book has a table of contents. It has more text in it, and it has a title page. Cameron's poster is all on one page, just like when you see a poster hanging on a wall. It has more photographs and no title page. So you can try this if you want. If you have a family member nearby, you could tell them which two features are most helpful when you read and explain why. So when you were reading, if you were looking at these similarities and differences, is there anything on here you think is most helpful when you're reading? Maybe pictures or headings or captions, whatever you think is most helpful, and tell them why. Okay, so we're going to be reading two texts. One is called A Tropical Garden, and it's a book. And the other one, The Cardinal Climber, is an article. So then after that, we're going to complete a graphic organizer together to look at similarities and differences between them. So here are some questions to help us think as we read. Is the text a book, article, poem, or other type of text? Does the text use illustrations or photographs? What information can you find in the illustrations or photographs? What text features does the text use? What type of information is included about the topic? What reasons does the author use to support his or her point? So let's start with our book called The Tropical Garden. So where would this garden have to be if it's tropical? Think about tropical places.
A Tropical Garden, written by Rory Orlando. Climate control. Many tropical plants grow in South America. Tropical plants like warm and rainy weather because it helps them grow. Frost and wind harm tropical plants.
So what kind of weather do tropical plants need to grow? You think about that. Look at your picture here. What kind of weather?
White jacaranda. The white jacaranda is a tree. It grows tall and wide. It is shaped like an umbrella. The leaves fall off and grow back. New trees grow from the seedlings.
And how does this tree look? What did they say? They said it's shaped like an umbrella. Very cool.
Tamarillo. The tamarillo is also a tree. The tamarillo has fruit shaped like eggs. You can eat the fruit. It comes from the flowers, which grow in large groups. Each flower group will produce 3 fruits. A new tree can be started from seeds or cuttings.
How does this tree look? Different from our last one. Those fruits are pretty.
Gray star. This is a pretty plant. The leaves are green-gray on top. The underside of each leaf is purple. The plant can grow to be very tall and thin. A gray star is a nice plant for a garden. It can also be enjoyed inside in a pretty container.
And how does this plant look? So we're thinking of all 3 that we've seen so far, all very different.
Artillery plant. This plant does something strange. The male flower spits pollen into the air. It looks like an explosion when it happens. The artillery plant spreads and grows close to the ground. The plant can overtake an area. It is also a nice houseplant.
So how does this plant grow differently than the other tropical plants and trees we just looked at? So we know one could grow really tall, skinny and tall. One was an umbrella. And this one looks like it just spreads and grows close to the ground. That's a lot different.
There are many plants and trees that grow in a tropical garden. These are just a few of them.
Okay, so you have that story in your green workbook. Now the other one we have is the Cardinal Climber poster. So let's check this out.
The Cardinal Climber, written by Harper Crawler. The Cardinal Climber is just like its name. The flowers are bright red, like the bird. The vines grow long and they climb and curl. These vines give a look of privacy. They can climb and trail over garden supports. They can also grow in pots. Just add a stick so the vine has something to hold on to. The Cardinal Climber is a tropical plant. Definition: a tropical plant is a plant that grows well indoors. They like hot temperatures and lots of water.
Okay, so you also have that in your workbook. And now we're going to work on comparing and contrasting these two different pieces of two different texts. Let's see. And actually, I think I'll pull mine up to write with you. So just a minute, open your workbook to, let's see, what page is it on? We are on okay, page 81 in your green workbook, and grab your pencil. Okay, so let's fill this out together. Let's maybe look at our similarities first. So I know just because we just read these, that these are both about plants and tropical plants. So let's go ahead and start with saying that one similarity is they are about the same topic. You can write along with me. The next thing that I noticed that they both have in common is that they're both informative texts. That means that they are teaching us something about a topic with facts. So they're both informative. Hopefully you can see that. And the last thing that I noticed is that both texts include illustrations. Now, one of the texts has pictures, photographs as well, but they both have, illustrations. Okay, so you're going to want to just write the same thing I just did there for your similarities. Pause the video if you need a minute to copy. Okay, let's look at their differences. So if we look at our book, The Tropical Garden, that is one way that it makes it different from The Cardinal Climber, which is an article. So we're going to fill in both those circles. One difference, book, the other is an article. Now, this relates to that. This one is many pages. And this one, the article, is just one page. Now, I want you to think for a second about what we could put in that last circle. When I think of one thing that I noticed is that the book has photographs and the article does not. It only has illustrations. Now the book has some illustrations and photographs, but the article does not have photographs. Now the other thing the article does not have that we could say is a difference is the article does not have a title page like the book It has a heading up top, but no title page like our book because our article only has one page. All right, that would be it for our similarities and differences for our two texts. So if you need to pause the video to finish copying that, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a little bit of grammar in our writing workshop here. So, did you know that different words can have similar meanings? And when they do, they're called synonyms. Um, let's see. So, our camper here says, I like reading two texts about the same topic to see what's different. Camper, did you know words can have opposite meanings? They are called antonyms. So, synonyms are when words have similar or the same meaning, and antonyms are when they have opposite meanings. So like big and small would be opposite. But maybe small and little would be similar, which would be synonyms. So let's watch this video about that.
This has been such a great day of bird watching. Let's take a break. I want to compare notes. Okay, the first bird that I found was a hummingbird.
I wrote that the hummingbird is colorful and chubby. It has squiggly fluffing wings and a thin beak.
Well, I wrote down different words. I said that the hummingbird is multicolored, round, and has rapidly fluttering wings and a slim beak.
Wow, we made completely different notes.
Actually, if you take a closer look, we made the same notes. We just used synonyms. Synonyms are words that have a similar meaning.
I see what you mean. Colorful and multicolored have the same meaning.
Chubby and round both mean something similar as well, just like quickly flapping and rapidly fluttering.
We both noted the slimmer thin beak.
We have so many options for when we write a report.
Now let's compare our notes about the quail. My notes are that the quail is majestic, handsome, large, and active.
My notes say that the quail is plain, unattractive, small, and lazy.
Did we use synonyms again?
This time we used antonyms. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite of each other.
I said the quail is majestic and handsome because of its plume and its blue chest.
I think I was looking at the female and you were looking at the male. The female is brown and has a smaller plume. I thought it looked plain and kind of ugly.
I said it was large because compared to the hummingbird, it is a large bird.
I said it was small. We used opposite words.
I also thought it was active because it was moving a lot on the ground.
Well, we were describing two different quails. I said it was lazy.
So synonyms are words that have similar meanings, and antonyms are words that have opposite meanings. I learned something new today, and not just about birds.
Let's keep looking because I really want to find a turkey.
Okay. So remember we've talked about verbs, and verbs are action words, and adjectives describe nouns. So both of these can have synonyms and antonyms. So you might have some, if we look at synonyms and antonym examples here, here are verbs. So examples of verbs would be swim, throw, hide, dance, jump, stretch, play, fly, wave, sing, all action words. And then adjectives would be words like strong, bright, square, round, cold, hot, 2, 3, wild, brave, sweet, sour, tiny, large, stinky, minty, loud, cheerful, red, blue. Those are all describing words. So we want to look at antonyms and synonyms. So if the word was look, another word for the word look might be stare, peek, or view, and those all mean the same thing as look. Now, an opposite or an antonym would be ignore, neglect, or overlook, because that would mean you weren't looking. Okay, the word pretty, some words that mean the same thing, beautiful, gorgeous, lovely. Words that mean the opposite would be ugly, unattractive, homely. Now, if the word was nice, some words that mean the same thing, synonyms, friendly, kind, good. Antonyms, mean, unfriendly, and bad would all be our opposites. So what I want you to do is open up your workbook to our next practice page is on 85. So open up to page 85 in your workbook. Now, I forgot to tell you, you would need scissors and like a glue stick or some glue to do this. So you'll have to grab those if you don't have them close by. But what you're going to do is cut out your words at the bottom. You can see them down here. Cut on the dotted lines, and this is also good cutting practice, which we need to be masters at the end of first grade. So cut out our words, and then you're going to sort them to figure out which one goes in run and which ones go in large. So there's going to be words that are synonyms and antonyms, and you're going to decide whether they are fitting in with run or large. So like the word sprint, if you've ever heard someone say that they sprinted really fast, that's another word for run. So that one would be glued here. Okay, now let's see, what's another one? Oh, if I look at my word big, I know that would go in the group large. Now remember, there's going to be synonyms and antonyms. There might be words that mean the same thing or words that mean opposite of either of these. Sort them out, glue them in there, and maybe have your helper check to make sure before you glue that you've got them in the right spot, and then glue them down. Okay, good luck. I forgot something. As also another practice with the synonyms and antonyms is on the next page in your workbook, page 87. You'll see the same activity continued. It's actually part of this practice, so you want to do it. So it says to try writing some synonyms and antonyms, so words that mean the same thing and words that mean the opposite in each of these boxes. You could get some help from your helper if you aren't sure, some ideas there. But if I were doing this, if I said the opposite of hide, I know is find. So one thing I would put in here is find. Now, the opposite of cold, I know the opposite of cold is hot. But then you want to think of some words that mean similar things. Icy, chilly, those might be good synonyms. All right, now here it says to circle the synonym and put a box around the antonym. So follow those directions and try that practice out. Okay, good luck. All right, we are to the end of our assignment or our lesson here where we do our writing. So we are working on our informative writing here, and we're using a sandwich to help us format that writing. So we always start with a top piece of bread, and this is our topic sentence, and we've practiced writing those in the previous lessons. It tells what your text is about. Then we need to add the meat and cheese and lettuce to make the middle full. These are our key details to support our point. So those facts or information pieces that support your topic. And finally, we need our bottom piece of bread, which is our closing sentence, and it restates our topic in a different way. Now let's go ahead and look at an example of this. And you have this in your workbook, page 88. So you can look at this while you're working on your assignment as soon as we finish here if you'd like. So we have this one, the topic sentence, the orange tree has different parts. So that's our piece of bread up top. Now we have to have some supporting details that tell about those different parts. Here they are. There are roots at the bottom because the tree needs to drink water. There are leaves on the branches because the tree needs to catch the sun's rays. There are oranges on the branches because the tree is growing. And then we need our bottom piece of bread, our closing sentence. The different parts of the orange tree are all important. See how that restates the different parts of the orange tree to close the paragraph. So now it is your turn to make a sandwich. On page 89 in your workbook is the sandwich sandwich template that you'll fill in. Now you do not have to submit this today, but it will really help you tomorrow when you are writing your clean copy. All you'll have to do is take the parts of your sandwich that you wrote today and write them into your clean copy. So I think it's really important that you practice this today and get your facts and information written down. So it looks like this sloppy copy template. And see, it's the sandwich. It just has blank spots for you to fill in. Now our topic for our informative paper right now is, what does a tree or plant need to grow? And we have learned about that over the last couple lessons. And you actually did a graphic organizer. Let's see, where is it on page? In lesson 10.03, you filled out a graphic organizer, oh yes, on page 74, about what does a plant or a tree need to grow. That will help you with your topic sentence, 3 supporting sentences, and closing sentence. So remember, when you do this, to practice your best sentences. Your first grade, we do capitals to start our sentences. We do punctuation at the end, finger spaces between words, and we spell our best using sight words we might know, rules we've learned about the sounds we hear, and we do our best. Okay, and best handwriting. So do get your sandwich filled in with your topic on the top, 3 key details in the middle, and restating your topic on the bottom. Okay, good luck. Oh, and there is a quiz at the end of this lesson, so do get on and take your quiz as well. Bye, boys and girls. Okay, I know I said I was done, but I found out at the end of this lesson that there is a funny little video that you need to watch before you start your writing. So check this out.
I'm Freddy the Frog from the deep green bog. Don't let me fall off the log. If you follow my rules, I won't get soppy. Then you'll learn why I'm so happy. The capital is how it begins. That's the way it's always been. I'm Freddy the Frog from the deep green bog. Help me back up on the log. A sentence answers the question who. Hey, it's I, you know what to do. Next to answer what it's all about. Eat is what you shout. Between your words, you gotta leave spaces. The words will tumble as your voice races. I'm Freddy the Frog from the deep green bog. Help me back up on the log. Punctuation, let your sentence rest. Listen to me and you'll pass the test. Follow my rules, I won't get soppy. Then you'll see why I'm so happy. The capital is how it begins. That's the way it's always been. Sentence answers the question who. That is what you've gotta do. Tell a thought that is complete. A single word's not enough to eat. Between your words, you gotta leave spaces. The words will tumble as your voice races. Punctuation, let your sentence rest. Listen to me and you pass the test. Now I'm happy and I'm happy. Thanks to you, no longer soppy.
All right, thanks guys. See ya.